So I beat the Witch of the Lake.
Yes.
Yeah,
we tried to record that. It didn't work out.
Unfortunately, I forgot to hit record in OBS.
Whoopsies.
And whoops.
It's okay.
But it was extremely painful for Zach.
Very painful for me. It felt like instead of shoving my scissor blade up the witch's butt, it was shoved up my butt.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. He's going to beat it again so he can re-record it.
We're going to start the run over completely, and we're going to power through in one night to get back to Witch of the Lake.
Listen,
Just for you, dear viewer. Singular viewer.
I like Salt and Sanctuary. But I don't know if I like it enough to ever play it again once we're done with it.
That's completely fair. But I have Googled it, and there's only 3 bosses left, including the final boss.
Okay,
so
well...
we can knock that out.
Yeah, we can.
And then we'll be done, and we can never have to think about it again.
Never have to think about it again, except for occasionally, oh yeah, that was a game.
Oh yeah, that was a game.
Yeah, that existed.
Yes. Or the next time that studio makes a game, we can say, yeah, the people who made Salt and Sanctuary, that was a game.
That was a game. They certainly tried.
Yes, they tried.
They really
tried. It's kind of like The Witcher 1. They tried.
It's like, there's a good game in here. It just didn't get there.
Yeah. I hope that catches on the microphone.
I do too.
It looks like it may have.
Yes, good.
We have a cat scratching a post in the background.
Yes.
The cutest cat.
I disagree with that because my cat is cuter.
Oh, fair enough.
And also bigger, but not as fat looking.
It's true. She does look.
Yeah, she especially looks. She would look fatter if she was facing you, and her head just kind of goes. Just kind of sinks in.
Just sinks in. Yep.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen,
Welcome.
to Talk to the Plank. Whoopity doo.
Woo!
We all lived through
the ice storm of Texas.
Oh yeah.
We all lived through hell freezing over.
Yes, it did. Texas, also known as the weather of hell, froze over.
Yes.
So all those things that you said when hell freezes over, well, now it has.
It happened.
It's like hell is now frozen over, so start cashing in.
Yep. Yeah. Cash in on all those dumb things your friends said.
All right.
Let's see.
So how did you guys survive the winter apocalypse?
I guess I just stayed inside all the time and never left, and it was pretty cool. Actually, we lost power only briefly on the first day in the morning.
Oh,
so we actually weren't very bad affected.
That's good.
So we were doing pretty good actually. So we had power and internet for pretty much the entire ordeal. They also know my friends down in Houston had it off for like 3 days straight. So.
That's never fun.
Yeah. They lost water too.
Yeah. We lost water, but we were so far in the country that our electrical grid is so spread out, it wasn't worth it to roll blackouts to do the wrong blackout thing. It's so spread out.
Yeah.
Oh, there was my cat.
My parents also have like a big wood stove in the middle of the living room.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah.
So it was like 90 degrees in the house with 4 inches of snow outside. Not 4 feet. That's a difference.
No, it got close.
It felt like it.
Over the course of the whole thing, it might have been 4 feet.
Yeah.
But we never lost power, but we didn't want to use any power. So that meant I was just sitting on my phone all day, every day, and couldn't sit right next to the fireplace because we thankfully had our grandparents over before the freeze for other reasons.
That's good.
And so they just stayed over during the freeze, and they didn't sleep here. They slept over at my aunt and uncle's because they live just like a neighborhood over. And that was the deal we had worked out beforehand, so we kept going with that, even with the icy roads. But when you only have to drive like 5 minutes, and when your mom grew up in Pennsylvania,
I don't know.
Yeah,
I've had a harder time staying warm in Indiana because one time my heater went out.
Oh.
And so I just curled up in my winter sleeping bag for the day while I waited for them to fix it.
Rip.
So get yourself a space heater, and as long as the power stays on, you can at least have that blowing directly on you.
Yeah, I just didn't think about it.
Yeah.
I couldn't because we unplugged everything we possibly could unplug. for fear that it might trip the power and we wouldn't get it back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fair enough worry.
And to all those people in California who are making fun of Texas, talk to us this summer when you have rolling blackouts again because it gets hot.
Oh, yeah. GG.
Again, really. For what, the 5th year in a row? Boom.
Got him.
Maybe you guys should figure out that it gets hot in the summer.
Ha. It's like we found that out a while ago. But unlike you, it doesn't normally get so cold in Texas.
No, it doesn't.
It most certainly does not.
No, it does not. Thankfully, that was a once-in-a-lifetime event, so we'll see you guys next lifetime.
Yep.
Hopefully.
Yes. Yeah,
I'm tired of living through interesting times now.
I've heard rumors that there might be another winter storm coming up in a week or two.
God.
Oh no. I'm tired of living through historical events. I'm tired of it.
Please. World, calm down.
I'm sure we've learned everything from the last freeze, and we're going to apply it to this new one.
Yes,
and there will be absolutely no problems whatsoever.
Yes, it's not as if there was some big old government organization that never gets anything done getting in the way.
I'm sure that won't happen.
No, of course
not. I'm sure they'll really clean up their act this time around.
I'm sure they will. They always do, right?
It's gonna be fine.
Yes.
Don't worry. Everyone.
Listen, if there's one thing the government is good at, it's learning from their mistakes.
Yes. I mean, imagine if this happened a decade ago and we didn't learn anything from it, and then it happened again. That would be bad.
So stupid.
That'd be ridiculous. That'd be absolutely ridiculous.
It's just unbelievable.
Imagine if there were like a big old attack from some little terror cell and did a lot of damage. Imagine if we never learned a lesson from that.
Never.
Imagine.
I'm trying, but it's just so hard.
It's very difficult.
Very quite. Anyway,
video games.
Yes, and things very similar to those.
Yes. So, once again, going down in our usual order of Mr. Aaron.
It is me,
Aaron.
I basically spent the last 3 weeks just replaying a ton of old games, like I've been doing for several months now. Mm-hmm. So I replayed to start Resident Evil 2. I may have mentioned it last week. I don't think I had fully gotten through it yet, though.
I don't think you had finished it.
Yeah, I think
you did talk about it.
Yeah. So I played through Resident Evil 2. Then immediately after, I played through Walking Dead: Saints and Sinners. I think did I mention that last time as well?
I don't think so.
No,
I don't recognize that
name.
Yeah.
So,
I don't recognize that name.
It's a VR Walking Dead game where it's like there's a big emphasis on like inventory management. So like you go to different locations all throughout New Orleans because that's where it takes place, and you have to gather up a ton of resources and then like recycle them to make and craft stuff. And all the while, there's like this background narrative going on of like these two factions fighting for control over like this secret bunker that everybody's looking for, and like you find the bunker and get to control who gets it in the end, and etc. So it's one of the better VR games I played, I think. Yeah, it's a ton of fun because like all of the objects, like all of your weapons have like physics to them. So like if you hold an axe like in one hand, it'll like drop down. So you have to hold them at like both hands so you can actually cleave at like zombie heads and stuff. And you actually have to like get like a full range of motion to get through like zombie skulls and stuff. It's super fun. It's one of the better VR games, like I said. So I replayed through that. It's a blast. Then immediately afterwards, I replayed through God of War 2018. That game is astounding.
Dad of Boy,
astounding game. Boy.
Yeah,
I don't know if there's much.
I'm so hungry, I could eat an Octorok.
I'm so hungry, I could eat Jormungandr.
Let's go bomb some Dodongos. But yeah, I replayed through. Oh my god! Now I want a God of War game that's entirely in the style of Zelda CDI. Please, can somebody make this? My god!
Baldur goes, not the mistletoe. It burns.
Astounding! My god! But yeah.
And then Loki walks up. Good.
Oh my god! But yeah, so I replayed God of War, which is a great game. Everybody should play it.
Yes, phenomenal game. When I got that game, it's one of those few games that I sit down, I start it, and I finish it. Never playing a single game in between.
Yeah,
and that was an entire week for me.
Yeah, that game.
That game is stellar. Although I did watch Matthew Matos's critique of it, and I do agree with some of the stuff he says in there.
Okay.
Like how a lot of the loading times are masked by conversations.
Yeah, of course.
And when technology advances, you're just going to be sitting there with a conversation.
Yeah. So that's fair enough.
So, and there's a few other things, but
Yeah.
that was one of the ones that stood out to me that I remembered.
Yeah.
And there were like the cooldown attacks I don't like that much.
That's fair. Yeah. I think that adds like a new dimension to the gameplay. Like it prevents you from just like spamming a bunch of different attacks. Though I guess since you played a ton of like action.
Action. I played God of War 3 recently.
Yeah.
And I like the way it uses magic attacks more, where you have a magic bar.
Yeah, that's fair.
Then you have your different attacks. I would prefer it. I'd prefer it if it had like a bar and the different you can equip different attacks just like in the game, in the regular game. But instead of it being a cooldown, it's a bar, and maybe the bar you could do like a Kingdom Hearts 2 system where when you empty out the bar, it recharges before being filled back all the way, or you could have it slowly recharge over time. Something like that.
Yeah,
maybe.
I think that's a fair system.
Yeah.
No, it would have been cool if they went with that. I haven't played any of the older ones, though. I really should. I've heard they're really good.
I enjoyed God of War 3. It was a good game with some issues.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment.
That's... It hits that pet peeve of the portrayal of Hades as Satan.
Yeah.
At least it wasn't as overt as the Percy Jackson movie,
Oh,
where he literally comes out as a fiery Satan. Remember the Percy Jackson movie?
I do not. I can't say that I do. No.
And it's even worse after Overly Sarcastic Productions just came out with a video all about Hades and Persephone.
Yeah.
That was really interesting.
Yeah.
Going into, hey, Persephone actually predates Hades, probably?
Maybe.
As far as we can tell.
Neat.
And Hades is very peripheral to that whole story. He's just kind of there.
He's just kind of blending in the background.
Basically. And the villain of the story is, of course, Zeus!
Yes.
Who's the...
That scoundrel.
Oh, Zeus.
Always getting up to things.
And then along came Zeus. It's like 90% of all Greek myths.
Along came Zeus. Unfortunately, the thunderbolt is not a regular lightning bolt in those myths.
Nope.
The thunder, as Captain Hammer would say, the thunderbolt is my penis.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Beautiful.
And then, so I beat God of War. I pretty much 100%ed it. Like, I did all the Valkyrie stuff. Yeah, everything. I had to.
How's that last Valkyrie?
It's very easy. You have no idea. Just absolutely wipe the floor with her,
Yes.
man. Beat her in my first 30th try.
Cold cut to completionist 8-hour stream trying to beat her on the hardest difficulty.
Oh, God, on the hardest difficulty.
Yeah. Oh,
oh my God. That's insane. I only played on like the not even the second to highest. I think I played on like the third.
Yeah,
from the highest.
Like maybe one above normal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. God. So I beat that. Then I played. Then I tried before I played anything else to pick back up the game Windlands. Have you heard of Windlands?
I've heard the name. Isn't it that VR game?
Yes, it's basically VR Spider-Man.
Yeah. I played it. I played it over at your house when your brother had his Vive there.
Yes, yeah, and that's a game. I mean, it's okay. I think the gimmick of it with the grappling hooks just kind of gets old pretty fast. So
yeah,
I only played it for like an hour maybe, and I'm like, I've had enough of this.
I think you could tweak up the level design in that game and it'd be more fun. Because as it is, it's just a bunch of floating islands and you just kind of do stuff.
Yeah.
And
things.
I don't know. Maybe if they could somehow work an Attack on Titan kind of thing into there, that could work. Maybe that could work. Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing.
Oh man, I can't wait to talk about more Attack on Titan 2.
Yes.
I haven't been watching it. it.
You scoundrel. You dirty, rotten scoundrel,
I meant
you.
to, and I just never got around to it. I have to be in a very certain mood to want to sit down and watch anime and binge it.
That's fair.
And I have not been in that mood.
That's fair.
I got you. So wait. How far have you gotten so far?
I completed the first season.
Okay.
Okay,
just
but
the first season?
you did finish it.
I finished the first season.
Okay, that is fair. That's
okay.
fair.
So now you can wait 4 years to start season 2, like everybody else.
Like everyone else. Yeah, exactly. I'm doing fine.
Yeah.
No, but season 2 was probably my favorite of the anime. Of the manga, the story covered in season 3, part 1 is probably my favorite until the most recent stuff.
Yeah.
Until the most recent stuff, because the manga has more character building in that section, whereas the anime has to just kind of condense it a little. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah.
But yeah.
So after I deleted Windlands because I was like, I'm just done with this, I started replaying Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice.
Oh boy!
Yeah, because the first time I played through it, I didn't get the good ending, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna play through it and get the good ending. Which getting the good ending in that game is so weird. You have to do so many odd things, like eat this rice this person gave you 4 times, and then fast travel away and back, and get like another rice item you need to go give to another character, but you have to give it to them after this certain story beat. And then once you give them that item, he gives you another item, which you then travel back to the other person to give that item, and then you'd fast travel away, and then fast travel back, and then listen to a small conversation, then fast travel away, and fast travel back again, and then you get the final item that you need to get the true ending.
That sounds more convoluted than Bloodborne.
Yeah, no, it's completely... I have no idea how people figure it out, because you have to do like 50 different things in like a specific order.
That sounds like 25% as convoluted as getting the ending to PT.
Yeah. No, that's fair. Yeah. Oh, God. PT, man. Jareth. So weird. Yeah. But, so I beat Sekiro just today, actually. And, I got the good ending.
How is that game on a replay?
Very good on a replay. Because, it's specifically designed for replayability, because there's like 4 different endings that you can get.
But from what I've heard from a lot of people, the main criticism is the gameplay doesn't really change on multiple playthroughs. Whereas like Dark Souls or Bloodborne, you can get different weapons, do different builds and stuff. Sekiro is the same game, but you're not learning anymore. You've already mastered it. So
so it's been long enough since I played it the first time.
That's fair.
That I basically forgot a good chunk of it. So it was basically like playing it for the first time for me. But I think that probably is the biggest critique, and I think that's probably why it's the hardest From Software game. Having played through it now, I'm like, no contest.
Yeah.
Because there's literally just, you have your sword and there's like a skill tree, but like that's it. You can't like level your up Sekiro. You can't get new swords or armor or whatever. Yeah, no. You literally just have to run at every enemy and hope that like you get enough prayer beads after a certain point to level up your health like this much.
Yep.
So yeah.
Now I have a question for you.
Give it to me.
Sekiro or Ghost of Tsushima?
Sekiro. Yeah.
Okay.
Ghost of Tsushima is all right, but I mean, it feels like it's just retreading common ground.
That's
like,
fair.
I feel like it's just like most third-person open world games that I played.
That's fair.
You free a settlement, you move on to the next settlement. Maybe there are some side quests in between. So yeah, I mean, it's an okay game, but I like Sekiro a lot more.
I haven't beaten either game, but I have played at least a few hours of both games, and I played a lot more Ghost of Tsushima. And I would rather go back to Ghost of Tsushima.
That's fair.
Because when I was playing Sekiro, I was having fun, but I was also thinking, like, I'm not getting the same kind of enjoyment out of this as I would out of Dark Souls, and I'm getting a lot more frustration than I am when I play Dark Souls.
That's so true.
Now, to be fair, when I played Dark Souls, going in, I figured some stuff. I already had some stuff figured out because I watched best friends play through Dark Souls 2.
Oh yeah.
So I understood like how leveling works and how like the mindset of roll into attacks, drop your shield.
Yeah.
Drop your shield. Because Dark Souls 2, Wooly forgot to drop his shield all the time, and Pat had to become Navi and tell him to drop his shield all the time.
That worked very well for him.
To the point where there are hilarious montages of him saying, "Drop your shield." Perfect.
Yeah.
Know what I mean?
That's great.
But yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so in terms of things I played, that probably just about covers it. I want to replay Death Stranding next.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Replaying that game.
Yes.
Because I've heard from a lot of people who love that game that it's a game they never want to play again.
No, I think I want to give it another go because I missed a lot of the content the first time around because I didn't do a lot of the side quests and stuff. So I think I can pick those up. And plus, I just want to see all of those. I just want to see that beautiful
Norman Reedus face.
Yes, thank you.
Gotta watch that beautiful Norman Reedus face while you get advertisements for Ride with Norman Reedus, and he advertises this is just like Ride with Norman Reedus.
Yes, my favorite. And then I down my Monster Energy drink. I refill my Monster Energy drink canteen in the water that I went by.
And go talk to Conan O'Brien wearing an otter hat.
That's so great. It's so good.
I'm so lost. I have no idea.
Conan O'Brien is in that game.
Lovely.
Yeah.
And he's obsessed with otters.
Yeah.
Lovely.
It's so good. Oh man, so good.
That's a game I need to just sit down and go start to finish, 100% beat that game, and then go, yep.
Yeah, the story on that's great. I really do love the story.
I've heard the story is amazing, except for like one bit at the end, and then it's amazing again.
Yeah. There's just one really bad line. Donkey riffs on it in his video, but it's just like this one really cringy line.
But then there's also like apparently one speech from Die Hard Man that's like the best.
Oh, the ending Die Hard Man speech is some of the best in gaming. Maybe one of the best in gaming. Best speeches ever given.
I have a favorite speech in mind, so I'm curious as to how it'll stack up.
Which one's that?
The ending speech in The World Ends with You.
Oh, okay, I haven't played that, so
that's
I need to play that.
That's my favorite bit of voice acting in a video game.
Ah.
Okay, so that just about covers everything I played. In terms of watching, I basically just spent like the last several weeks going through more of whatchamacallit, Hunter x Hunter.
Oh yeah!
Yeah.
Well, okay, where are you?
I am very close to the end of the Chimera Ant arc.
Oh boy!
So good. What a great arc.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's so funny too because I didn't know how long it was whenever I started. So I got to episode 20 and I'm like, man, we must really be getting close to the ending. This is a long arc. Then I looked it up and it's like 60 episodes. And I'm like, what? How are they going to get 40 more episodes?
Yeah. And then you get to the part where where the entire episode is the first 5 seconds of a fight.
Yeah.
And it's just the narrator going, this is what this person was thinking as this happened.
God.
This is what this person was thinking as this happened.
It's the
this is what this person was thinking about this conversation that happened just before he got here.
Yep,
this is what this person said right as all hell broke loose.
Yes. Classic anime.
Bad
Classic.
move, little ant. Okay, so what's okay?
I'm just before.
Have you gotten to the Black Rose? I think it was.
That doesn't ring a bell, but maybe I don't know. I'm at the part right before the smoke guy fights Leo.
Okay, it's been too long. I know both of them, but it's been too long.
Yeah, they have a fight, and that's the episode I'm on. So I'm trying to think.
Okay, so you haven't gotten to what I'm thinking of yet. I don't think so. I don't think, but you're getting there.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting there.
So I have like 15 episodes left of that, I think, and then I'll be done. And yeah, it's fantastic. I love it. Like compared to the Greed Island arc, it completely blows it out of the water.
Well, Greed Island is fun.
Yeah,
it's a fun Yu-Gi-Oh arc.
That's a perfect way to describe it.
It's the best arc of Yu-Gi-Oh ever made, and it's a fun Hunter x Hunter arc.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's a fun arc, but I don't think it holds a candle.
It's a good arc, but it's not a good Fallout.
It's not a good Fallout arc. Yeah, no.
But oh my gosh, the two standout arcs in the anime are York New and the Chimera Ant. Easily.
I can't believe how long it is. I was so flabbergasted when I looked up how long it was because I was like, man, we must be so close to the end.
So okay, there's like 2 moments that really stand out to me. Well, many moments that stand out to me, but like there's 3 in particular. There's the end of Netero's fight.
Okay. Wait, like his final fight?
Yes.
Okay, I haven't gotten there yet.
Okay.
No.
There's.
Do I need to leave?
No. Okay. There's.
Spoiler. Not heavy as possible.
There's a moment that's like Super Saiyan, kind of, but it's a very bad thing.
A very bad thing. Okay, very good.
And It's not the character that already looks like a Super Saiyan when he powers up.
Oh yeah. By the way, the king is totally just a ripoff of what's his name?
Perfect Cell.
A Perfect Cell of
Yes.
like 1-to-1 copy
Yes.
almost.
And then you realize how old Hunter x Hunter is, and you go, wait, which came first? Perfect Cell. Perfect Cell came first.
Yep.
And the ending of the arc.
Okay, I'm excited.
The ending of the arc just about made me cry, man.
I love the chemistry between the king and the Gungi player. That's so good.
Yes.
I love the Cosmere,
so
the chemistry between those
it's
two.
so good.
Yeah.
And did you like how the Ant King basically became a supercomputer with all those games?
Yeah.
And did exactly what supercomputers do?
It's astounding.
And then it's literally just the conflict between supercomputer versus this old game that is infinitely complex. Oh no, it's catching up.
God, it's so good.
He figured out Go, man.
Yeah.
He figured out Go.
Crazy guy. Yeah, so I've been watching that. Then I also watched... I started watching WandaVision. I don't know if you guys have started watching that. Yeah.
I have gotten through 4 episodes.
Yeah.
I do not have Disney Plus.
Oh, rip.
Rip.
My heart. But WandaVision's really good. I'm on the most current... I just finished the most current episode. As my friend said, and I think this is like a perfect way to describe it, the show, I think, would have been much better if we hadn't have gotten the scenes outside of Westview.
If episode 4 hadn't happened.
Yeah, basically. Because they keep showing a bunch more of stuff outside. Yeah,
I would hope that'd be like an episode here and there.
Yeah, no, it's like we get cutbacks between the world inside and world outside. And yeah, my friend I think described it perfectly, which is like everything that's inside is super interesting. Like in the first episode when the woman just kept repeating "stop it, stop it." It's like so freaky. It's amazing.
Oh, it's so good.
But
and then that one time when Wanda looks at Vision.
Oh God, yes.
That one time that she looks at him,
one time.
and it's like, oh no.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's great. Yeah, I'm really excited to see how it ends because they pull a hat trick like right at the very like on episode 7. It gets that's when it really starts getting crazy. 7 and 8 are just bonkers.
Well, if Mandalorian's any judge for length, it should be wrapping up pretty soon.
Yeah, there's one more episode,
okay.
Episode 9. Yeah, and I don't know. They're gonna have to put in a lot. I guess not really. There are enough like story threads that they can wrap it up pretty quickly, I think.
Yeah.
So that's really good. I really like WandaVision.
I hope it turns out well, and I'm glad that they did this one first and not the Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Because of all the shows they announced, that one is the least interesting to me.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I like those characters, but I don't really care about them in a TV show context.
I really hope they end up going like the vein of like the last 2 Captain America movies, though, where it's like very action focused, like martial arts. If they do that, I think it'll be a great show.
If they get Civil War writing from the Russo brothers,
God, that'd be so good.
Oh, because Civil War is probably not. It's not my favorite of the MCU, but it's probably the best.
Yeah. I'd say Civil War is probably the best, or Winter Soldier. Yeah, those
Civil
two
War or Winter Soldier. Guardians movies come close.
Yes, very close.
Infinity War comes close.
Yes, it does.
Infinity War only has the issue of Thanos. You have to kind of accept that he's a little crazy and wouldn't think of these other options.
Yeah, I mean that's why he's the villain.
Yeah. Yes, in the comics he's called the Mad Titan, but in the MCU he isn't. So you just kind of have to accept that he's nuts.
Yeah,
a little nuts. Infinity War Thanos, every line that comes out of his mouth is gold.
It's so good.
Pure gold.
He's such a great character. Yeah.
Oh man. And then Endgame, Thanos is okay.
Yeah, he's not nearly as good as he was in Infinity War now.
Although I used the stones to destroy the stones is a hilarious meme.
Very good. So I watched WandaVision. That's really good. Then I also watched earlier a little bit of Mindhunter by David Fincher.
I watched a few episodes of that. I never finished it.
I watched
good, though.
I watched the first season, and then I got a little ways to the second season, and I kind of stopped. Mm-hmm. Not that it's really uninteresting, but just like I don't know. I just needed to take a break from it.
David Fincher is the guy who did 7, right?
Yes, he did 7, Fight Club.
Yeah.
Alien 3, crazily enough. That was his first movie. Yeah, his first director.
Well, he went up from there.
Yeah, it was all up from there.
I think the only movie I've actually seen of him has been Fight Club because I never watched all of 7. I've only seen bits and pieces.
Have you seen The Social Network? Because you did Social Network.
No, but
Okay.
I thought that was a guy who wrote West Wing.
The guy who wrote West Wing wrote it, but he directed it. David Fincher directed it.
Okay, because that movie reeks of him.
It's Aaron Sorkin.
That's
his name. He gets his fingerprints all over everything he writes.
Aaron Sorkin is one of those writers where every character is Aaron Sorkin.
Yes, very much so.
And it's like it's a style, and it's a nice style, but you get it can get old at times.
Yeah, that's fair. So I watched that. I haven't seen any movies, actually. We haven't been out at all. Did I watch any movies? I don't think so.
All right, so where were you?
I was pretty much saying I finished everything. I'm trying to think. I don't think there's anything else I watched. I did read. I read a Kurt Vonnegut novel named Mother Night, which is like about this guy in World War II who is a spy for the U.S. He was like a propaganda person, and then whenever he got to the U.S., like nobody believed him because the CIA wouldn't reveal that he was a spy, so everybody hates him. And it's the entire book's just about like everybody hating him, and like eventually like this Russian agent tries to like force him to, or tries to trick him into like flying to Moscow so they can like use him as like a propaganda against the U.S. and like his entire life falls apart. It's a really miserable book, but it's also really good.
I mean, that sounds like Kurt Vonnegut. So.
Yeah, that's pretty much his whole oeuvre. But I think that just about covers it. I did start on another Kurt Vonnegut novel actually called Bluebeard, which is a fake autobiography about this abstract expressionist painter. Yeah, I have no clue what it's about beyond that so far. I've only read like the first 15 pages, but it's really good.
That is
what I've read so far. Very bizarre.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah. All right. That about covers it.
Well then, Mitchell.
All right.
How has been your many weeks?
It's been good. I haven't been done too much. I've been trying to plan everything to move back out to Indiana. Mm-hmm. So I've been a little busy. Well, let's see. I've mostly just been playing a little bit of games here and there. So I've been playing a little bit of Breath of the Wild, a little bit of Astral Chain.
Trying to get Breath of the Wild finished before Breath of the Wild 2?
Oh, yeah, eventually, maybe.
Breath of the Wild 2, guys. Hey, are we going to talk? No. Not going to talk about it.
No.
So let's see. I did go camping right before the freeze.
Oh, boy.
And that was interesting. The raccoons are a lot bolder than I remember them being. Because I was cooking hot dogs, and I turned my back for a half a second, and I just hear something get up on the table. I turn back around, and a raccoon's making off with hot dog buns. So I had to chase a raccoon down in the dark, trying to get the hot dog buns back.
And then you come back, and the rest of the food's gone.
It was all a diversion.
No, before I took off, I got everything, put it in the ice chest, locked it in the truck.
There you go.
Grabbed the metal rod I have in my truck for no real discernible reason. Where did that rod go? Oh, I know what it is. It's part of the thing that you use to get the spare tire down for the truck.
Oh,
you
put
it through the hitch in the back, and then you have another piece I used to...
Yeah.
Huh.
The piece that came with the truck snapped, so I just have like a metal rod that I don't know what to do with.
That's great.
And I had to get a replacement. So I just have this broken metal rod, and I grabbed a metal plate, just chased out the raccoon, banging things, trying to get it to drop the hot dog buns. And I finally managed to get the bag back.
But
not the buns.
Not the buns, no.
Rip.
So you had bunless hot dogs.
No, I already had like 3 hot dogs, fortunately, so I didn't starve. But then, the rest of the night, I was cooking marshmallows, and I had to keep turning around and trying to swat a raccoon from sneaking up on me. I just hear it. I turn around, and I come within like an inch of whacking it in the head. It's like, they've gotten so bold, I don't understand.
How many times do you have to teach them this lesson?
It's like it'd run off and then run up a tree. And I'm like, I can see you. I know you're there. Good grief. So that was fun.
That sounds like a blast.
Just get out of the house for a day.
No.
So I finished the Witcher series. I finished reading the book.
Yes!
That was a fantastic ending to a very long series. Very strong, sad end.
Didn't the don't the novels feel like one big long novel?
It is just one long book. And it is a little exhausting.
Yeah, it is.
Whoa, there.
No, cat, no, get off. She's gonna keep going after it.
Yeah.
I'm sure she will.
And so,
if we opened a can of salmon or tuna, she'd be yelling at us for it.
Lovely.
I'm sure.
And let's see, Witcher.
But yeah, Witcher.
Yeah, it just flows so seamlessly into the first book, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's like they planned it from the start.
Man, remember that everything that goes on in the castle at the end, in Lady of the Lake. That whole sequence. Just the most catharsis I've
very
seen
cathartic, yes.
In a book in a long time.
It's like, yes!
And also, no!
Yeah, very no. Very, oh no.
Dude, the one of my favorite details was, like, after everything happens, and Geralt's riding on his own to meet the people. Before he meets up with Dandelion, or right when he meets up with Dandelion, he asks about that other character.
Yeah.
That was just so quiet and sad and very Witcher.
Yeah.
And it was great.
Very, very Witcher. So let's see. Did you read the Season of Storms?
I didn't read Season of Storms yet. I'll do that. I'm planning on doing that after the games, because I think it came out sometime around then.
Okay, it doesn't really touch anything on.
Yeah, no, it's completely separate. Because
So let me see.
The author is like, I think making sequels to these books is stupid. Why would you do this, you stupid game makers?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, did they have a little bit of a falling out with the game?
Not. He made some comments, but they're still working together or something. What it was he's not a big fan of video games. But he made it. And the deal he made at the beginning, they offered him a percentage, and he said no, I want a lump sum.
And then The Witcher 3 happened.
The Witcher 3 happened.
Yep. And he's kicking himself in the foot. Kicking himself in the butt.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would do it. But let me see. Season of Storms, how do I put this? You know how in Lady of the Lake it kind of had bookends with the Arthurian legend bits?
Yeah.
Well, there's kind of a bookend bits with Season of Storms or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
With the Dream Lady on her way to... What is it?
Wait, the lady who's like in the future of their world.
Yeah, like dreaming about the events of the legend.
Yeah, and researching and stuff.
On her way to meet up with the castle and start her job or whatever.
Uh-huh.
It kind of follows her on the journey for a couple of chapters in the beginning and end. And okay, how do I put this? A scene occurs where basically it's like, hey, if you want the games to be canon, they kind of sort of can be now. But if you don't, then there's plenty of other explanations of what just happened.
Okay.
I think it's the best way to put this.
He's like, I guess they can be canon.
Optional canon.
It's like if things occur, I guess. I don't know. It's hard to... It's like maybe. It seems
there's some weird stuff going on in Lady of the Lake anyway.
Yeah, things happen.
Everything with Ciri.
Ciri is
everything with Ciri, where all of a sudden a new element to the world is introduced in the last book, and it's barely hinted at beforehand.
Yeah, it's like let's see. What do you know about Ciri?
I know that she's like a super powerful being of like coolness, but that's pretty much it.
Okay, so do you think we could talk about like the?
If you guys want to talk about it, go for it. I probably won't play the games.
Okay, so there's world hopping.
It's got like the infinite universe thing going on.
Universe hopping.
Oh.
Like
so she can travel through time and universes.
Yes.
Okay.
So she can like hop from the Witcher universe into like Arthurian legend universe.
Dang, that's awesome.
Everywhere.
Or into our universe and bring back the Black Plague.
Whoopsies.
Oh, that's great.
Which literally happens.
Yeah, whoopsies.
I'm sure that worked out well for them.
It did not. The named characters who you have a whole chapter one of the points of view is these characters, and then it goes on and tells you that they died, and then later you died in a plague, and later you find out that Ciri started that plague.
It was like, oh no, bad times, yeah.
Because an infected flea hopped onto her and then hopped off when she stopped in her world, and it's bad times.
Yeah, very bad times.
Oops.
Whoopsies. So yeah.
But yeah, that's brought up in the last book.
In the last of 5. So you go through 4 books without no real
technically
indication.
7.
But they did keep
stories.
mentioning like a convergence of the spheres. Wasn't there? I remember them talking about convergence of the spheres because I kept wondering, like, what were they talking about? Because the elves were like, "You humans didn't used to be here. You are invading on where we were," and the dwarves were like, and the elves are hypocrites because they also came from somewhere else, and we were here before them.
That's true. They said that, but when I was reading it, I thought they were talking about different continents,
and they were not.
They're talking about worlds.
So it seems like a monster dimension, human and elf dimension, all kind of
bled into this one.
Bled into one.
And
That's awesome.
Which is some fascinating world building, and I love it.
It's great. I love it, but
it's almost some Cosmere stuff going on here.
It's not quite, but yes.
Not to the level of detail that Brandon Sanderson, but just the fact that there is world hopping at all.
Yes,
there's fascinating.
There's world hopping, but they don't exist in the same universe like they do in Brand. It's literally multiple universe theory.
It's still
That's
fun.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's something. So technically, the games could be canon because it could just be a different dimension from the book, the Witcher series.
They could.
So technically, anything could be canon.
Exactly. Yes.
I consider that fully canon.
Now
then,
the question.
100%.
Now I haven't finished Witcher 1 yet, or the book, the game, but I still don't know how Geralt survives.
Probably.
I don't know how.
He's just a cool guy.
But, I mean, we've already introduced time travel. So.
They did, but they also acknowledged what happens in the last chapter of The Witcher.
Yeah.
And it's like, how did you survive this? And
everyone's like, "Hey, Geralt, I thought you died." And it's like, "I did too." Like, well, then how didn't you die? I don't know.
Everyone's like, "Geralt, I thought you were dead." I was.
And now I'm not, and I don't know
I'm too
why.
cool
I
to
don't
die.
even know who I am or who you are, important book character.
Oh,
but
man.
yes, because I played through like 5 hours in the first game, and every time a character introduced, I'm like, "Oh, this makes sense now."
Yarpen Zingrid, yeah! Teach me how to gamble, Yarpen, please.
Yeah, when Yarpen Ziggurat popped up, he's like, "You don't remember me, Geralt?" And I was like, "No." And then he showed up in the books, and I'm like,
and then you're like, and then you go back and you play the game, and you're like, "You don't remember me, Geralt?" And Geralt's like, "No." And you're like, "Geralt, you were gambling with them in the last. You were just drinking with them in the last chapter of the book. Come on."
It's like, oh man, but yeah, The Witcher was fun, and let's see what else I've been playing.
Now you can watch the hit Netflix series.
Ah, yes.
The hit Netflix series. I've only seen 4 episodes, so I don't. The characters like Geralt and Yennefer, beautiful characterization. I think they did a good job. No real opinion on the story yet. Haven't gone far enough. Haven't even been introduced to Dandelion. I'm not calling him Jaskier. He's Dandelion. So yeah.
Excuse me, I believe it's pronounced Jaskier.
Yeah.
I don't know, actually.
So let's see. I've also been playing the first Tales of game, Tales of Fantasia.
Oh my gosh, the first one.
Yeah, like pixelated.
Why?
Because I'm a completionist, and if I'm gonna start a series, like,
oh my gosh, are you gonna be that guy who decides I have to play every Final Fantasy game?
Yes, I've already played 1 and 2.
Why would you play 2? Oh gosh!
Because it exists, man.
2 is a bad game.
Well, that's why I emulated it and cranked the game speed to like 4 times and just played through.
That still doesn't help with how bad that game is. You have to level up your HP by hitting yourself.
It is.
That's the only way to level up your HP.
I just listen to podcasts a lot of the time.
Oh,
like, all right,
gosh.
It is horrendous, but I'm done. But I need it though
jeez.
because That's how determined I am. So I've been playing Tales of Fantasia, and it's actually kind of fun. I've been having fun with it, actually.
I played a little bit of Symphonia.
Yeah.
Which is the three that people talk about are Symphonia, Abyss, and Berseria.
Yeah, Berzeria's on the list. So let's see. So the problem is that I'm playing it on a PlayStation 1 emulator. I mean, my actual PS1 that I totally own.
Yeah.
The problem
yes,
is
of
that
course.
they never released Tales of Fantasia in the West for PlayStation 1.
Oh, shoot.
Oh.
Officially. I had to find an English translation.
Oh, boy.
The other problem is that
Hey.
there's been several attempts to translate this game, some better than others.
Oh no. So this isn't even a Fate Stay Night situation where there's one agreed upon English patch for
There
the game.
is like a general consensus of this one's the best, and this one is the worst.
Oh.
So I want to compare the best and worst from this one scene in the
boy.
game. Let me set the scene. You got the main character, Kless, who's your knight guy.
Yeah.
You got the main love interest, Mint, who is the cleric. You got... what's his face? Hang on, I gotta find what's his face again. Clarth, who is your summoner.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got Archie, Arche.
I would say Arsh,
Arsh. We're going with Arsh.
which
then.
sounds
That
like
sounds right.
I'm
and
saying
Arsh, and
Yes.
she is the lolly mage character.
Of
Oh,
course.
of course.
and,
yes.
and the lolly bit is
JRPG.
going to be important for what comes up next.
Oh, no.
Oh no!
Oh,
no!
And allegedly she's 17.
Oh,
I
allegedly.
see.
Allegedly.
D-
So here's-
that
1,000-year-old
Noe is
dragon.
1,000 years old, guys.
Totally.
1,000-year-old dragon.
Yes.
And so you gotta go get on a ship and travel to an island or whatever. And there's some shenanigans and events on the ship.
Oh boy.
And so, for right now, the both cop versions are relatively similar. Clarth. So, Kless, which girl are you after? Huh? What are you talking about? I'm talking about Mint and Arsh. Here's the basic translation. Mint is prim and proper and has a nice calmness to her, but Arsh is hard to turn down too. Here is the bad fan translation.
Uh-huh.
Mint has that quiet elegance about her, but I bet Arsh fucks like a tiger.
And that's the lolly character, right?
Yeah, Arsh is the 17-year-old lolly.
Astounding.
Like a tiger.
What a line.
That's the comparison.
Yes.
Oh.
And podcast title.
Yeah.
Like a tiger.
Like it. Oh, no.
Astounding.
Oh, no. Let's see.
Sounds like a great game.
And so, later on, they go and they get food and drink in the ship, and Arsh gets drunk and passes out and starts talking in her sleep. And here's the basic translation. It's creepy in both ones. Basic translation. Oh, Kless, you shouldn't touch me there.
Oh.
Oh, no, we shouldn't. Hee 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 hee. And let's go to the bad translation. All caps. Oh. Oh, God, yes.
Oh no. No.
Oh, God, yes. Give it to me. Give it to me hard.
Oh my god.
Oh.
So you gotta be very careful picking your fan translations for this game.
Yeah, you do.
Woo.
Gotta make sure you get that bad translation.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
God.
But the gameplay is actually kind of fun. I'm enjoying that.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh,
good that it's good.
Boy. Okay, so moving on. What is the gameplay of this game?
It's pretty basic, but it's like in real time, and you have to actually move the characters around and hit buttons to do moves and whatnot.
Okay, so
It's
Tales,
It's
yeah.
Tales gameplay, but
Yeah.
very
Okay.
very basic and rough before they figured out what they were doing.
yeah, before Symphonia.
Yes, exactly. Let's I had to talk about that. It was just too funny.
my gosh.
It was too weird.
That's like
So good.
that's getting to Fate Stay Night sex scene writing. I don't think it's quite at that level, but it's getting there.
Yeah, let's see. Been playing some Astral Chain, just going through levels, trying to collect everything.
Got to get all S ranks.
Yep, working on it. Breath of the Wild, there's too many things.
There's too many things.
There's too many things. I forgot how to fight in that game, and it sucked horribly. I was just trying to fight off like bokoblins, and I'm like, I can't remember which one swings the swords. I keep pulling out bombs instead and blowing myself up.
You keep trying to sell them bombs for rubies.
Yep. And then 5 minutes later, I was trying to fight a silver Lionel,
Oh, of course.
and I managed to win.
Hey,
Somehow.
there you go.
Ugh. And then let's see, Morrowind.
Morrowind.
I'm officially at the point where I can break the game and I'm overpowered.
Yeah.
Or get quests where they're like, hey, go fight this dude, but watch out, he's super dangerous and he has a bunch of lackeys. And are going to the bandit camp and slaughter everyone. And I'm like, alright, where's that one really tough guy? Oh, there he is. Dead. On the ground. So, that's fun. Let's see. My alchemy is super good now, so I can craft, like, Night Eye potions that can last 10 minutes in real time.
God.
Or light potions that last 10 minutes in real time. So, Night Eye just allows you to see things, and it's lights up dark areas.
Right.
Light literally lights up dark areas. You basically shine like a flashbang, like an actual light.
Dang.
Yes.
So that's fun.
Yes.
So I can make potions that add 200 points of light for like 693 seconds or whatever.
God.
And I'm just like a walking sun, basically. It's hilarious. And I've also been enchanting a bunch of equipment. I've got like my eye-opening amulet, which counteracts my boots of blinding speed. Because as you may remember, the boots of blinding speed, you run really fast, but it actually blinds you.
Oh,
It
that's right.
applies
Yes.
an actual blind effect on you. So the eye-opening amulet is made just to counteract that.
That's amazing.
So I can run super fast now. I also now have the robe of Enlightenment, which applies that aforementioned light effect. So I can see
Astounding.
in dark caverns and whatnot.
That's
Light
great.
Enlightenment. Ha ha.
And the light in Enlightenment is all caps. Just
Of
to make
course.
sure I get the pun.
Yes, yes.
That
Just
me
make
and
sure you
me
don't miss
alone.
it. Yeah, yeah.
And let's see.
It's for you and you alone.
Yeah. And then I got my thinking cap, which fortifies my intelligence by 50 points.
Oh my gosh.
Over the existing maximum.
Yeah, of 100 that I have. And then I also have my Air Jordans. Let me explain. I have a pair of shoes that I put a levitate spell on,
Oh my god.
so I can float around with them. And I call them the Air Jordans.
Of course.
The Air Jordans.
So yeah, I've been having fun enchanting and breaking the game with that.
That sounds like
What a
blast.
game.
Yeah, it is fun.
What a game.
And I've just been running around and doing quests and exploring.
Sounds like fun.
Sounds like a good game
It is
that you should play, dear listener. You too can have Air Jordans and make puns to yourself alone in your room.
Because I can't get OBS to work anyway. I figured it out. Apparently OBS just doesn't like laptops.
Ah, that makes sense.
And I don't have a PC yet. I do want to build a PC at some point. But my laptop still works.
I didn't build a PC. I bought my cousin's old PC.
Yeah.
So
I want to figure out how to build one. Just to...
I would like to, but I have the case turned so that I can look into the little clear part, and I look in there and I have a panic attack, and then I look away.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. It's like
Yeah,
I'm
it's
so
fair.
technologically impaired that I'm worried
See,
that I'd plug everything in and it'd explode or something. I
My-
don't even know how.
my
but it would.
issue is that I can literally break a brand new chainsaw. So that computer doesn't have a chance.
Oh, dear. Yeah, that's bad. Let's see. I'm trying to think if there's anything interesting I've done in Morrowind lately.
Have you killed every single NPC in the entire map?
No, that's
Damn.
after I do all the quests and story missions and whatnot. Then I'll go around. I also plan on making a save right before the final boss, and so I can just revisit it and do stupid, silly things.
Oh boy.
As one does.
Because I've already broken the game with the chanting. So at some point I like to
With
go
your
back.
Air Jordan's robe of enlightenment.
Light.
Like, I'd like to see if I could just do, like, a naked run with, like, just a glove with, like, some enchantment on it. Of, like, paralyzed for 10 seconds and just punch him to death. I want to see if I can do that. I know I can. You have to be able to do it.
You have to.
And I will. I'm gonna do it.
It must be possible.
So, yeah, that's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
I think that's about it for me. I haven't really been up to much.
Yeah, that's fair.
After you gave us that amazing laugh. I haven't been up to much.
What about you, Sir Zachary?
Well,
After I gave us the title.
I would like to go back and talk about Birth by Sleep one last time for a while, even though I haven't played it, because I was sitting around and then I remembered, oh yeah, I forgot to talk about a few things.
Oh, yeah.
wow.
So,
Actually, one second. So, yeah, I said earlier that YouTube's been recommending me a bunch of
Kingdom
Kingdom
Hearts
Hearts
clips, yes.
It recommended me of like a 15-second clip that just shows Ventus, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm assuming one of the final bosses, and it's just Ventus rolling constantly in a corner
Oh yeah. Yeah.
for like 15 seconds straight.
yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that looks miserable, because the boss is just doing all this crap.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that doesn't look fun at all.
Was it a guy in a black cloak with two blue swords?
E.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's Mysterious Figure. That's the ultimate secret boss of the original release of the game. That thing is one of the worst designed bosses in a video game. Possibly the worst designed boss in Kingdom Hearts.
That's great.
Yeah, I kind of figured,
I
because
love-
it was just a 15-second clip
It's
of a guy
awful.
rolling in a corner,
It really
trying to survive.
It really does make you look at the bed of chaos and go, you know, it may not be as bad as I thought. And I hate the bed of chaos in Dark Souls. That's the worst boss in that series.
Yes.
Ugh. And worse than anything in Dark Souls 2, and that's saying a lot, because I hate Dark Souls 2. But anyway, I didn't fight Mysterious Figure. I'm gonna wait on that. But I did forget to talk about the secret ending, which I got because I played on critical mode. I got it right away. I didn't have to do anything extra except get all the Xehanort reports. So I just ran around and got those real quick, and then I got the secret ending. And that was probably my favorite gameplay segment of the game. The exploration was actually really, really interesting, and the enemies were a nice throwback, and they were not awful to fight. The boss was, but it's Birth by Sleep. Birth by Sleep doesn't have good bosses. So at least it wasn't that difficult, I guess.
That's good.
And then the secret ending ends, and as soon as I finished that, I went and I played 0.2 Birth by Sleep, A Fragmentary Passage, which was the basically 2-3 hour little tech demo for Kingdom Hearts 3 that they released alongside an HD release of Dream Drop Distance and a 1 hour movie telling part of the story of the mobile game. And I played that, and I played it on critical mode for the first time, and I don't really like the way they did critical mode in that, and in 3, well, 3 I think did it better, but they have the amount of magic you get. Like, they have the amount of health you gain over the course of the whole thing, which is fine. That's what Kingdom Hearts 2 did, and it was great.
Mm-hmm.
But they also have the amount of magic you get, which really limits your options, especially in 0.2, since you really don't have a ton of options outside of that. Like, you can do shot lock, but your regular combos, your physical combos aren't really that good, and they're really floaty in 0.2, and you don't have a lot of options you don't really have a lot of options out of the combos. Whereas in 3, they've made it to where it wasn't like this at first, but they've made it to where you can dodge out of almost anything really quickly. So even if an enemy tries to snipe you from off screen, you can dodge away from it. And I think they altered enemy behavior in 3 to where they don't snipe you from off screen as much, which is a real problem in 0.2. But it's still fun. I still had a fun time, and it picks up literally right where the story leaves off in the secret ending of Birth by Sleep.
Nice.
And it's fun, and next time I play it, I'll play it on Proud Mode and actually go for that secret boss, because I've never actually beaten the secret boss of that game. But anyway, in Birth by Sleep, there was one thing I forgot to talk about that was very important, and that's an ability that I got when I was playing with Aqua called Raging Storm. And it's this ability where Aqua holds out her Keyblade, and like you use it, Aqua holds out her Keyblade in front of her, it spins, and then she goes like, "Wah!" And then 3 pillars of flame start spinning around her, and you kind of float. You can move around and kind of float toward enemies, and it does damage, and it does like decent damage, like bang, 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 just doing little chunks of damage. And the issue is, the way it calculates damage is every time you press forward, that's a tick of damage.
Oh, shit.
So you go up to a boss with a giant health bar, and you use Raging Storm, and you just tap forward, and their health bar disappears. And I'm talking, it disappears. It's insane.
That's wonderful.
And it feels like with this game, it's either broken or you're breaking it.
Yeah. Which
can be fun, but man, it can get when it's broken, it's not fun.
Yeah.
When you're breaking it, it can be fun.
Yeah.
Also you have a chance of getting this ability like right at the beginning of the game when you fuse like 2 fire commands. It's only like a 10% chance, and I manipulated it so that I could get it. I just kept quitting out and going back until I fused them, and I got it because I wanted to break the game with that. I wanted to see how real the breaking was, and it's real. But yeah, that's Birth by Sleep. I'm done talking about it for a bit. When I go back to Kingdom Hearts, I'll be going back to Rechain of Memories. But I won't be going back to that in a bit because my PS4 controller is dying.
Oh no!
And I think, okay, should I just buy another one? And then I think, but I'm gonna buy a PS5 soon.
Yeah.
As soon as I can find one.
Yeah.
So
3 years.
I'll be able to. I'll be able to play all my PS4 games on the PS5.
Yes.
So should I even bother? And right now, I'm thinking no.
Yeah, that's probably for the best.
Yeah.
As soon as you get the PS5.
As soon as I get the PS5. So, I've been playing on my PC and my Switch. Not a ton on my Switch, but a little bit here and there. I played a bit of Cuphead, because I love that game. That game is amazing.
It's so good.
It's so good. So difficult, but then I go back to it after having beat the game, and I haven't beaten it on my Switch, but I did beat it on the PC, so playing on the Switch... I get to the first island, and it's a lot easier than I remember. And then I go to my favorite boss in the game, and I beat him on my first try on Equal Isle 2.
Things have changed.
The clown, Beppy the Clown. That's my favorite. But it's like, yeah, I've gotten good. I'm still dreading that robot, though.
I'm sure.
But been playing a decent amount on my PC. Played some Lego games because Lego games are fun, and when I don't have a ton of time to play and I just want to sit down, play a game, and listen to a podcast, Lego games are good.
They are.
So Lego Harry Potter, I've almost completed it, and I played a little bit of Lego Lord of the Rings, just trying to blast through the story so that I can get to the fun part of the Lego game, which is completing everything.
Yes, getting all the little whatchamacallits.
Yes, all the red bricks, all the characters. And in Lego Lord of the Rings, all the mithril pieces, mithril bricks.
Yeah.
Because there's recipes that you have to make stuff with mithril by going to a blacksmith because it's an open world.
Oh.
The entirety of Middle Earth is your oyster.
That's so cool.
Open to you. It's actually pretty cool. I'm starting to like it a bit more. I wasn't sure if I liked it at the beginning, but I'm liking it a bit more now that I'm just blasting through it and not even paying attention to it. I played a bit of Sid Meier's Pirates.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Which is a wonderful old Sid Meier's game that is just what it says on the box.
Yep.
It's a pirate game.
It's pirates.
It's more. Are you more interested in the living life part of piracy than the specifically ship battles part of piracy, like in Black Flag, then this is the game for you.
Cool.
Would you prefer to really be a pirate or an assassin pirate? If you want to really be a pirate, Sid Meier's Pirates is for you. Assassin pirate, Black Flag. Just play both because they're both great games.
There you go. Winning strategy.
There's a lot more freedom in Sid Meier's Pirates because it's a Sid Meier's game.
Yeah.
You go to different island. You sail different islands. You build a fleet. You can choose your flagship. You have to manage crew happiness. You can raid ports. You can even take them over and give them to the country of your choice. So basically, you're going to be taking over Spanish ports and giving them to the English, the French, or the Dutch, whichever one you're going for. Usually the English or the French, because the Dutch are poor. The Dutch are tiny as crap. So who cares about them? And the Spanish are huge. So you wanna just take over as much of their stuff as possible. And generally, you want to be friends with the Dutch and one other person. So I'm friends with the English, and I occasionally make friends with the Dutch. And the Spanish hate me, which is fine. I named my pirate Jimbo.
Jimbo.
After Mr. Jim Hawkins.
That's amazing.
And I'm getting the hang of that game. The thrust attack in sword fights is broken, especially when you get items that make your attacks faster in sword fights. It really gets broken.
Yeah.
Because it's faster than every attack. And even if they do a thrust, if you do a thrust, it just kind of cancels both attacks out. So you just thrust every time they attack, and even if you hit the button like way after they start up their swing, you'll probably hit them anyway. It's kind of busted.
That's good.
But yeah, it's a fun game. I'll play more of it. And the other game I spent a decent amount of time with is Far Cry 3.
Hey.
Yeah.
Blast from the past.
Yeah. Far Cry 3 is a fun game. I had never played a Far Cry game before, and for some reason YouTube recommended me all the live action Voss clips. So I watched all those and I was like, you know what? I never played this game. Let me play it. And I like Voss a lot.
He's such a great character.
Voss is a great character.
Yeah.
I wish the game had more of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently,
But you don't like the surprise second boss?
I haven't even gotten to the surprise second boss, but I've heard stories.
Yeah, it
You're
does
gonna
kind of
miss
fall
boss
off after
real
that.
fast.
Oh boy. But I do remember one thing especially about the game and when it was coming out. And this game was advertised as Skyrim with guns.
Yes. Like Skyrim with guns.
It's not Skyrim with guns
It's
at all.
It's not
No.
Skyrim
At
with guns.
all.
No.
It is first-person Ubisoft game with guns.
That's exactly it. That's a perfect description.
You climb towers for Pete's sake.
It's Assassin's Creed first-person shooter.
Assassin's Creed first-person shooter, literally.
It's Ubisoft.
Yes, and that's fine. I like that.
That's fine.
I like that a lot. But Skyrim has a lot more like atmosphere. You go into a dungeon and things like that. You read a book about something, and you can actually go find it in the world sometimes. It's this world that and there's problems with the game, but it's this nice world that has stuff going on, and it feels like a mostly realized fantasy world.
Yeah.
From the little bit I played of the game.
Yeah.
Far Cry is a checklist.
That is a perfect description for the type of game.
The island is a series of checklists and activities that you go and you complete.
Yeah.
And that is fun. I enjoy that. It feels good to check off the little boxes.
Yes. It feels nice to shoot.
Yes.
Yes.
It does. Especially when I bought the big old revolver that has the scope on it and is golden.
Yeah.
That's great.
And then it's good. I do big fight, yeah. And then I immediately craft all four weapon holsters.
Yeah.
And I immediately try to craft more loot pouches. I immediately try to craft bigger wallets.
Yes.
And then getting shark skins is really nerve-wracking because going underwater in video game with sharks in the water is
A little spooky.
It's scary.
I think what I did for shark skins is that I would run around and find a boat with a turret, and then just shoot them all with the turret. And
that's
then
genius.
I could have done that.
that was my method of easing up the fear.
Yeah. I only got actually attacked by a shark once. So And I won't need any more shark skins for a while until I get later in those crafting trees.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a fun game. It's all right, and the story
It's
seems
a fun filler game in between.
Yeah.
Heavy story games.
Yeah, the story seems meh.
Yeah.
The only things besides Voss that's really interesting is the British guy who's horribly depressed over his dead daughter and thinks that one of your friends is his daughter.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even remember
And
that.
he does the big drugs.
Yeah,
So
I do love all the
so
drug
many.
sequences in that game.
Oh, I got one drug sequence that was really fun.
There are several.
yeah.
and they're all
And
good.
it reminded me of a not quite as good version of the Max Payne dream sequences.
I think that's.
And when I say not quite as good, I mean not as good.
Yeah.
But still fun.
Yeah.
Ooh, mushrooms.
It's like Far Cry 3 is a really boring stealth game for the first few hours, and then you get a gun pouch.
Yep. And that, but if you do the stealth stuff, but the stealth stuff gets better when you get a silenced sniper rifle.
No, I guess, yeah.
And you upgrade your stealth to where you can do multiple takedowns.
Yeah. But
And
for like the first hour where it's
Yeah,
just
it
like you
sucks.
have one gun and no ammo, and you can't hold ammo.
Yeah, it sucks.
It sucks because the pirates keep coming.
So you just shoot them,
And then you run out of ammo.
and then you run out of ammo, and then you pick up an AK.
And then you keep running, and then they just keep swarming you, and you can't hold enough pouches to heal yourself, and you eventually just have to run off in the woods and get mauled by a tiger.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
5 feet away from the village.
For me, it's been a lot of Komodo dragons out of nowhere,
Bloody Komodo dragons, yes.
and like I'm just walking around and I hear, and then I turn around and there's 5, and I'm like, I don't need to craft anything with your skins.
Leave me
alone. You're not even worth that much money. But that's a fun game. I'll play more probably.
Yep.
Unless I decide to just quit and play Far Cry 4, because I've heard that it's just Far Cry 3 but better,
Yeah.
It's a good game.
with a villain who has more presence and is just as good.
Yeah.
And then I will play it and do the thing where you wait 10 minutes and get
Yeah.
the ending of the game right away.
So good.
It's like, alright guys, starting Far Cry 4. Alright, that was a fun game.
That was a fun game, guys.
On to 5.
Yeah. What a good game. A bit short.
Yeah, a bit short. But I thought you shot more people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was, I wish there was like a tech tree of some kind, but this was fun. It was nice. I didn't expect it to be a walking simulator, but yeah, it was a good one.
Has anyone here played Far Cry 5? Do we know about that one?
I haven't. No.
I've heard from a few people that it's good. I don't know how it stacks up to the others.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I do know there were complaints from games journalists that it was not political enough. How dare a game decide to not be political in America?
Yeah. Well, I feel like that's
Even though it
Ubisoft's
was about
MO.
a cult in America.
Ubisoft is political when they want to be political when they do the Assassin's Creed real life story stuff and nowhere else.
Nowhere else.
And even then, they're not that political. They're just like, what if it was all a conspiracy, though?
Ooh.
What if?
What
Ancient
if
gods are actually aliens or something?
It's the aliens. They're all dead, but they made technology to talk to you. Woo. The ending of Assassin's Creed 2 was mind blowing when it came out.
Yeah.
And now you look back.
And now it's all downhill from there.
It's all downhill from. Well, Brotherhood was good.
Yeah.
Brotherhood was good.
Brotherhood was good. Black Flag was good.
Black Flag was fantastic for the gameplay.
The story's good. Well, the Kenway story is.
The Kinway story is good. Don't care about
What modern life story? You mean there's a part of the game where you have to walk around in first person
Like,
slowly?
The character story is good. The secondary.
In not Ubisoft headquarters.
Yeah, the whole time I'm walking around not
Literally
Ubisoft headquarters.
Literally in Montreal with people speaking French Canadian.
Yeah.
So
Like, you're just
Canadian
walking
French.
around not Ubisoft headquarters, getting like the guy to and they're like, this is such a great place to work. Wow, you have snack machines and a break room. And I'm like, I feel like some Ubisoft workers may have been venting a little. Hey, write what you know. Am I right, Ubisoft? About a corporate lifestyle that seems glamorous, but it's hell. But it's secretly hell. It's like, I wonder where they got inspiration for this. I feel like this wasn't just from their imagination alone.
What a bizarre sequence.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh look, there's those characters from the Assassin's Creed story. Do you remember them? Aren't you excited to see what they're doing? And I'm like, no, I haven't been excited to see those two since Assassin's Creed 2.
Yep.
Even then, I wasn't that excited. I was like, oh hey, that's kind of cool, and that was it.
It's like, oh hey, I'm climbing around skyscrapers, assassin style. That's neat-ish. That's a nice set piece.
Man, oh jeez, I remember playing Assassin's Creed 3 after skipping watching a playthrough of Revelations and being completely and utterly confused with the modern day story.
Yeah.
Which I think is what gave me a somewhat positive impression of the game, because the American story was, even though Connor is a very boring protagonist, the rest of it was okay. Gameplay wasn't that great, but it was the first Assassin's Creed game I actually played, so I don't know. I feel like there'd be parts of that game, if I went back to it, that would be good, and then the rest would just be crap.
Yeah.
Yep, that sounds about right.
Except for the Haytham Kenway sequences, because Haytham is amazing.
Haytham is great.
Haytham does what that game was trying to do better than anything else in the game, which was humanize the Templars and kind of muddy the waters into morality.
Yeah.
And then Connor's just annoying, so yeah, I'm rooting for the Templars.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, that was...
Some may argue that Haytham did too good a job.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm kind of rooting for them.
Dude, I still remember a time when it slowed down at the end of a fight with Haytham just bashing someone's head with the stock of a rifle, and it was the coolest thing. And then the game was never as cool, except for like the first time I used the axe and the knife, because that's a cool gimmick.
Yeah.
But then it was never as cool. But yeah, that's a Far Cry. I watched a bit of stuff, not a bunch of YouTube stuff. Main thing is I ended up watching a lot of Masako X's channel. So just Dragon Ball What Ifs. Dragon Ball What Ifs.
Yeah.
Lots of Dragon Ball
Lots
What
of
Ifs.
those.
Lots of them. Especially the most recent one, which is, what if Videl was actually a fighter?
Huh.
What if they actually did something with Videl's character?
No.
And then there was I'd started it before, but then I actually finished the what if Goku's mom went to Earth with him.
Oh.
And that was fun.
I don't have the patience for those.
Yeah, I
mean, to his credit, he goes in detail.
Oh yeah,
he tries to think of every single plot detail that would get changed by this one scenario.
Yes, and it's great, and it's really entertaining.
Yes, but I don't have the patience for that.
I understand that. I use them kind of as podcasts, honestly.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Especially when he uploads like the whole thing in a 3-hour video.
Speaking of podcasts, I forgot to mention.
Oh yes,
I listened to some Castle Super Beast recently.
Yes.
I've been going to Woolie's channel, and like he has like the 20-minute clips that he cuts out from them. I've been watching a ton of those.
Yeah,
they're great.
Oh yeah, dude, that podcast is amazing.
It really is.
I have to do the podcast thing because I did buy Xenoverse 2 on sale.
Oh boy.
So I'm gonna play it at some point. And have to finish actually watching Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, you never finished Z.
I never finished it. I finished the Frieza arc.
I never watched Dragon Ball because I don't have the patience for that.
You don't have the patience to wait 20 episodes for one fight scene?
Hey, listen, that is very fair. Yes. I completely understand. I know. I've been there.
Listen,
it took me a year to finish the Frieza arc.
One of my favorite things about Hunter x Hunter is that most of the fights last half an episode.
They literally just burn through them. I'm so surprised.
It's so good.
It's unlike anything I've seen.
And they're so good!
They are so good. Oh my god.
One of my favorite things about JoJo is most of the fights are one episode.
Yes.
And then we move on.
And not a dozen.
The gimmick is done. Let's move on.
Yep.
We had fun with it. Now let's move on.
It's pretty much the reason why I stopped watching My Hero Academia, because they just kept doing that, where like fights or like certain like arcs would just
fight arcs or
or like tournament arcs, not tournament, but the like the arc where they were all going through testing or whatever. Not the one where they have to like touch the bomb or whatever, and that whole entire arc. I just like
wait, am I thinking about?
I was just like,
Maybe.
I don't really care about this.
Was it early on?
It was
Early
very
first
early.
Okay,
season,
then that one wasn't good, but you get later on in the tournament arc is really good.
I haven't. Yeah, I didn't watch.
Let's
that.
see,
I did watch the tournament arc. I did like the tournament arc.
Hero Killer Stain is really good.
Yes, he is.
Hero
He's a great
Killer Stand
character.
didn't
I do
seem to
like
drag on too long.
And
I think it was about the right length.
I think I got to season 3,
I
got to the big like halfway stopping point in season 3. That was really good.
I think so.
With,
I think we're
with the All Might fight.
yeah, the All Might fight. Yeah, I've been
That was fantastic.
That one was a good one.
And then I stopped watching for one reason or another.
Yeah.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's
okay,
not that
I'm trying to parse it out because I think the fights are good and paced well.
Yeah.
I think it's everything in between
That's fair.
gets a little kind of drags on.
Yeah, it's
But
fine.
it's fine.
But it's like it's kind of like those sections with Naruto where there's some legitimately good and interesting stuff that goes on, but then other times it's just like kind of dragging
Sometimes
on.
they have like good like side character
And the
development.
fights too. Most of the fights are really good, and then there are a few that are just kind of
Yeah.
Like that first fight that Deku has in season 3 with the muscle guy. That was not that interesting.
Yeah. Just, oh, hey, look, he broke his arms again. Whoop-de-doo.
Yeah.
Except this time it actually matters.
Oh, this time it matters, guys.
This time he broke them way harder.
Whoops.
Whoopsies. He shouldn't break his arms anymore, but he's gonna do it.
He's gonna do it, probably.
Oh, we all know he's going to.
Yeah. Okay. But I watched that. I watched a bunch of that. And I don't know exactly why, but I went and I rewatched End of Evangelion. The movie End of Evangelion. Not the last 2 episodes of Evangelion. I don't know why anyone would ever go back and watch
that's
those
why
specifically.
that's why I was so confused.
No, the movie End of Evangelion.
Okay. Yes.
And I didn't watch the Netflix dub. I went and I tracked down online the original dub, which is what I watched. And the dub itself doesn't hold up all that well. It's really rough. Even at End of Evangelion, there's still some delivery that's just not good. But the script I like way more than the script in the Netflix dub, and the Netflix dub is more accurate, but the old dub script hits a lot harder. Like there's one line, there's a few lines in particular where they drop the F-bomb and it hits, and they take that out of the new dub because it's got to be more accurate. And some scenes don't hit as hard without that.
That's fair.
So I think sometimes taking liberties with translation can work out really well. And I think it did with End of Evangelion.
And with ghost stories.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
The greatest of all.
But End of Evangelion is still a bizarre, strange, and kind of disturbing movie. And I like it. And it's still has one of my favorite fight scenes ever, where it has Asuka fighting a bunch of what are they? Evangelion units? I don't remember exactly what they are. It's been ages since I watched Evangelion. I just watched the movie for a few scenes and that fight in particular, and then I just ended up watching the whole thing. And that fight is amazing, and it plays Box Air on the G string, which is an unfortunate name now, but it's still an amazing piece of music, and it works really well with the animation. And the voice actress for Asuka does a pretty good job there. And also, I like that dub. Another reason I like that old dub is that Asuka yells in German because she's German. She sometimes just pulls out German, and it's great.
That's nice.
They don't do that in the Netflix dub because that's not accurate.
If they want to be accurate, they should have just stuck to speaking in Japanese then.
Whoa! Yeah. Maybe you're hitting something there. But yeah. So I watched that, and of course, it is the Brandon Sanderson time.
Brandon Sanderson Power Hour.
The Brandon Sanderson Power Hour, and This is the last Brandon Sanderson Power Hour for quite some time.
No.
The end of an era.
The end of an era. I finished Rhythm of War, the 4th book in the Stormlight Archive, and it was excellent. Absolutely phenomenal. Probably my 3rd favorite in that series of the Stormlight books. I'd say Way of Kings, Words of Radiance, Rhythm of War, Oathbringer, but Oathbringer has my favorite chapters in the whole series, which is Dalinar's flashbacks, and I'd say it's the best thing that Brandon Sanderson's ever written.
Oh, wow. High praise.
It's really good, but the rest of the book, it sometimes feels like it's spinning its wheels. Like Kaladin's arc especially at times felt like it was spinning its wheels, and that's made up for a lot in Rhythm of War. I love his arc in Rhythm of War, and he ends in a very good place.
Okay.
And
that's good.
I can't frickin' wait for book 5 because Brandon pulled out a twist that I accidentally spoiled myself on half of.
Oh no.
And the other half still frickin' got me. And now I'm going, what does this mean? What does this mean for the future? What's gonna happen? Oh no! And he's still able to get you. He's still able to get you.
That crazy guy.
But now that I have completely caught up on everything in the Cosmere, except for White Sand, because I'm not paying $100 for Volume 1 of
that's fair.
a graphic novel.
Yeah.
I'll wait till the omnibus comes out that's planned. That will also have extra art.
Oh.
So I'll wait for the omnibus and buy that, and then I can truly say that I've read everything in the Cosmere.
Oh.
But now that the Cosmere's done, I can say that this is really gunning for a favorite fantasy series. Really gunning, really shooting at Lord of the Rings place.
If you want more of Brandon Sanderson outside of the Cosmere, you should read his novelizations of what is it called? Infinity Blade.
Infinity Blade. I've heard.
His novelizations are really good.
I've heard.
Yeah, I read the first one. I didn't read any of the subsequent ones, but the first one was super good.
He has that. There's his young adult series that he's been going on for a bit right now, Skyward, which is probably good. I think he's working on the 3rd one currently.
Wow.
I think what he said. Then he wrote I know he wrote a was it Magic the Gathering or D&D? I think it was Magic the Gathering novel.
Oh.
I'd be really interested in seeing him write a Warhammer novel,
awesome.
but I don't think Warhammer is a good fit for him because that's more grimdark.
Yeah.
But man, Cosmere is fantastic, and now that I'm able to mostly just go right into the wikis and look at everything, I've done that quite a few times, and there's so much because the wiki also has info that he gives at signings and cons and stuff when people ask questions, and I'm able to actually watch those live signing streams that he does where he does spoilers and stuff, and that's fun. And I'm able to look at all the memes and the art and the memes
And the memes.
And the memes.
the memes,
Yes.
the memes.
Check the internet lately.
It's great.
The memes.
And also I'm able to go into the forums over at the 17th Shard, the fan site, and I'm able to read through the threads of those and see everyone's reactions to the book and see people be really negative and then say, yeah, it's a great book. Because that's how people are. That's how those people are.
Do be like that.
So now I've finished this basically 12 or 13 book series, depending on how you count it, because I don't know. Arcanum Abounded is a bunch of short stories, but it basically, if you count that as one, I think it's 13, or you could say 12 plus short stories. And then I was like, okay, I don't know what to do. So I decided, okay, I can't just start another fantasy series right now. I can't do that. I can't just do that. So I decided, okay, let me go as far away from it as possible. Okay, not that far. But let me go far away from it into something completely different. So I decided to read a Russian novel.
Hey.
Interesting.
So I am a little more than halfway through Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy.
A huge departure.
The man who wrote War and Peace.
Interesting.
He wrote 2 novels in his life, and they're both considered to be among the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I get it. Like, this is a freaking romance book. Anna Karenina is a romance.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a romance about a lady who has an affair and ends up ruining her life because of it.
Oh, shoot.
And that's the main storyline.
Yeah.
Because this is a Russian novel by Leo Tolstoy. There's
Tolstoy.
many different storylines going on and intersecting and all that stuff. And there's a much more happy plot going on with a character who I really like. But he's from what I've seen, he's basically just a self-insert for Tolstoy.
Yeah.
So, of course, he gets the happy ending.
Naturally.
At least I assume he has a happy ending. I know Anna doesn't have a happy ending, but.
Oh, yeah.
But the funny thing was, way back when I ordered the book off of Amazon, it comes in and it has this really, really kind of flowery, romantic cover with a blushed or faded out, or not faded. A picture of a lady's like sitting. It just shows her legs and her hands holding a flower, and it's focused on the flower. Everything else is kind of faded or blurred out a bit.
There's like a what's it called?
Focus. I forget what it is.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Vignette.
Vignette, kind of not like a black vignette, but like a blurred vignette.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Around it, and I ordered that on Amazon, and then it comes in the mail, and this was a few years ago, and my mom said, "Taylor, did you buy this?" Because she sees the cover and she reads she reads like the description on Amazon, and it's like a story of love and self-discovery, and I go, "No, that's mine," and that's not what it's about at all. It's about a lady who has an affair, ruins her life, and kills herself.
Yeah. A happy, fun book.
Happy, fun times.
It's like, no, that's mine, and let me explain myself.
Let me explain myself.
Listen.
I didn't just buy a romance novel. I don't do that.
Yes.
But yeah, it's fantastic. It's probably the best romance I've ever read in a book. Though to be fair, I don't know that I've read many good romances in a book. Warbreaker had a decent one. There's romances in books that I like, and I like the characters being together, and I like their romance, but I don't really think it's a particularly special or well written one.
Yeah.
You read like the old Percy Jackson books, and you're like, oh, I like Percy and Annabeth. I like them together.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't say like, oh, this is a great romance. You just say, it's all right.
Yeah. So I like these characters, and I like them together.
Yes, that's it. It's more like you're seeing. It's more like two people you kind of know, and you know that you kind of think, yeah, they'd be good together, and then they get together. As opposed to this is like living the romances yourself.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
And it hurts, and it sucks, and it's amazing, and it's awesome, and it's all these back and forth, and it's awesome. And the characters are rich and detailed. Their relationships are rich and detailed. It's fantastic. There's a reason that this is considered to be one of the greatest books of all time. And currently, my favorite character is Anna's husband, Alexei Karenin. Karenin. The Russian names are so stupid. This book has given me a huge appreciation for, man, I'm so glad I don't have to deal with old Russian names, because they go by like 5 different names.
That's great.
And the book, depending on who's referring to them, will switch between them, and you just kind of have to figure out who they're talking about. And then they'll bring back a character who hasn't been around in like a whole part, and you have to remember, oh yeah, this person's that person's brother. Oh yeah, jeez. Oh, when it says Old Prince, it means this character. Oh, yeah. Oh, jeez. This character doesn't have a name. He's just Old Prince. Okay. And I'm not exactly sure when this book is taking place. I think for Tolstoy, when he wrote it, it was like either recent history or modern, like right when he was writing it, but I'm not sure. because it's like later 1800s, but I'm not sure exactly when. But thankfully, the translation like has footnotes or endnotes where I flip to the back of the book. Okay, that's what that obscure reference is. Okay, so the Paveyar and Volonkonsky translation is the one I'm going with. If you are interested, and apparently they're the people to go to for Tolstoy and Dostoevsky. So when I finish this, I don't know if I'm going to go back to fantasy right away. I might take another detour into Crime and Punishment because I've been wanting to read that. But
I've heard that's really good.
We will have to see. We'll have to see. And that is it for me.
All right.
I
thumbed up the microphone for
too
some
many.
reason.
There's too many books and not enough time.
I did.
You literally just gave a thumbs up to the microphone.
I have no idea
and
why.
you only acknowledged it like after you put your thumb down.
I was giving a thumbs up to our viewers.
Yes, you wonderful viewers. Aaron gave you a thumbs up.
Yes, I did.
To me, you viewers are a microphone and a number.
Yep. That number happens to be one, and that listener happens to be
my brother.
Your brother,
my
Jake.
little brother. Hello, Jake. How are you?
Jake. Jake, this is just for you.
I hope we didn't accidentally spoil some Marvel movies for you.
Whoopsies.
Oops.
Jake, you're a wonderful person. Manifest your dreams. You can do it. I believe in you.
I don't.
Oh, well,
but that's because I'm your brother, so I'm obligated not to.
That's true.
I hope he's actually right around here.
He hears everything.
Please, that'd be amazing. But anyway, that's the podcast. This will be the last in-person recorded podcast because Mitchell is going back to Illinois, Indiana.
Yes,
I'm going to one of those states.
One of those. You know, they're basically the same.
Yeah.
Except one's probably better than the other.
Yeah.
Which one is it? You decide.
And and the people in either state believe it's their state.
Yes.
And we'll argue that.
Yes.
And here's my obligatory mentioning of Hololive and VTubers because I'm hoping eventually Google will recognize this word and start recommending it along with all the VTuber crap. And that's how we're going to break through the algorithm.
We got it.
Yeah, we got it. There we go.
That's the scam.
That is the what scam? It's just good business.
Yes.
As the villain of Pirates 3 said. It's just good business. Good business. I actually like that villain. I know some people didn't like that movie because he kind of shoved Davy Jones to the sidelines, and they really like Davy Jones. But I like him.
Yeah,
I like him.
Yeah, it's a good villain.
I like Pirates 3.
It's a good movie.
Enough about the movie to have an opinion. I kind of forgot it all.
It's good,
dude. I saw that movie like so many times as a kid. Every time I went to my cousin's house, we were like, let's watch Pirates 3 again. Let's watch Pirates 3. Yeah, let's watch Pirates 3. And we watched it, and we just kept rewinding the part where the little guy runs out with this big giant gun in the first big fight scene. And then boom! And he flies back into the hole where they burst out.
That's all I remember of that movie.
And we just kept rewinding and watching that scene like 10 times because we were just dying laughing because slapstick is funny.
Yes.
Very funny.
Listen. Tom and Jerry is high art. You can't convince me otherwise. Go watch Tom and Jerry.
Go watch Tom and Jerry.
I don't know about
what about the new movie? Do you mean the new movie?
I just remembered. I just remembered that existed.
What? Oh, the new movie?
Yeah, the new one.
Oh my gosh! Why?
I'm sure it's gonna be. I'm sure it's gonna be bad enough that there will be 100 YouTube video essays on it. A week after release.
Yep. See, the Rocky and Bullwinkle movie, from what I've actually seen of the movie, like you think that's got to be absolutely horrible.
Yep.
From what I've seen, it's a weird mix of absolutely horrible and actually kind of great.
Huh. It literally flip-flops between the two with no in-between.
Which is kind of what Rocky and Bullwinkle was, where you get some jokes that you just roll your eyes at and other jokes that are really clever.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't understand.
We'll have to do a live watching of the Rocky and Bullwinkle show.
Yeah, we're right on that.
Oh boy. I don't know, maybe we can record a commentary track. That's what people do, right?
That's a thing that exists nowadays anyway.
Would you rather do Rocky and Bullwinkle movie or the Dungeons and Dragons movie?
I forgot they even made that. Oh my god.
With Academy Award winner Jeremy Irons.
Oh boy.
We can watch both of them at the same time.
Yes.
We'll have them overlapping each other.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that'd be either the best thing ever, the worst thing ever, or both. It could always be both.
Yes.
I don't have anything else.
Yeah, me neither.
I'm tapped out.
Yeah.
See you later.
So like
gang.
a tiger, you said.
Yes, that was
Like
the
a
clip.
tiger.
So you being the zoologist, how exactly does that work?
Probably painfully.
Yeah. I imagine there's lots of scratching.
Yeah.
No, stop it!